One. Welcome back, everybody. Another basketball edition. We kind of do it a little bit different here on this basketball portion of our videos. We're not going to give you, a bunch of top 10 matchups and sides around the league. We'll give you some insight. We're not doing a bunch of, you know, uh, prediction videos, reaction videos. We're just going to do periodically checking in on the state essentially of our three teams. These three teams have won multiple national championships, particularly mine and Casey's team won multiple championships in this millennia. So,
Yep.
Of course, Matt's a Kentucky fan, Casey's a North Carolina fan, I'm a Florida fan. So we're just going to give you kind of our state of the game, our seasons, and then we'll bounce it around the league, see what's going on out in the nation. So I'm going to start off. Florida is now 3-0. I guess impressive wins over Army. Not really on Army's behalf. We were behind for 80% of the game, and then exploded to a 14-point win over them. We beat Boston College out of the game of basketball. They may have to shut down the facility. I think Florida actually just scored another point, so they're just going to have to get Boston College out of here. And then we played a game against Stinson, an in-state smaller team. So not much to make. Obviously, they're really talented players. Scotty Lewis, Keontae Johnson, obviously Trey Mann looking phenomenal now. Kind of the same song and dance for Florida. Got really talented guards, very limited big men, and not showing an aptitude to play defense. So it's going to be Florida trying to boat race a lot of teams. For now, it looks good, but I imagine once we start getting into the immediate schedule, play teams that know us. Like coming up, we have Florida State this week, and SEC opponents with coaches that played a couple games against us every single year. They know what our MO is. They know what we're going to want to do. They're going to take that away from us. But I am delightfully pleased with where we're at right now. Hopefully, we can continue this trend. Hopefully, Trey Mann can get some help from some of the other players and really establish, a productive offense. Something that's not going to fizzle out like some of the other years we've had years, like the PK80 a few years back, where Florida looked like an unstoppable offense. Hitting threes from all over the place, but fizzled out once you took Chris Gioza drive and kick out of the game. So hopefully we can become more multifaceted on offense and play some defense, and that would make me very, very happy. Casey.
Yeah. So North Carolina, I think they're now 3-2. They just lost to Iowa just like 20 minutes ago, who's ranked in the top 5. They lost them on the road. I'll have to go back and watch that and record videos while that was on. Let's see, they played in the Maui Invitational, which was actually in Asheville, North Carolina, with no fans. They beat UNLV, then they handled Stanford, and then they lost at the buzzer to like 17th ranked Texas. Yeah, it was a back and forth game, a good game. Texas is a good team, and the guard for Texas, I can't remember his name. He's good, but he hit like a step back that he hit the rim like 3 times, and he got the roll. And they got him at the buzzer. And then apparently they just lost to Iowa today, which is a good team. But really, what I see is they have a lot of size, but they're not necessarily like super talented. bigs. Like they have depth and they have a lot of size, but I don't think anyone on the front line is going to be like a top 10 or 15 pick in the draft or anything.
Yeah.
And they have a young backcourt, which is talented, and they have three guys in the that they rotate in the backcourt that are in like ESPN top 40 and whatnot. And they just need to improve their shooting, and I think they just need to play inside out. And then guards like RJ Davis, point guard, I think he'll get better as the year goes on and get more confident and start knocking down some shots. Otherwise, I think they're going to struggle on offense, but defensively they look pretty good. And I'm not sure who their next game is. I know they play Ohio State within the next week or so. Did anyone see the final between Ohio State and Notre Dame?
See.
I know it was coming down to the wire.
God, I keep forgetting that Notre Dame is legitimately in the ACC now.
But either way, that'll be a good game, and hopefully they can knock off Ohio State and get out of this 2-game losing streak they're in now, even though they lost to 2 really good teams.
Yeah, Ohio State won 90-85. They improved to 4-0 on the season.
Wow.
Yeah, so that'll be another tough game against the top 20 team.
Yeah. All right, Matt. Let's hear it. Come on, man. Let's hear your explanation.
Oh, man.
Give the answer for this, Matt.
Nobody gives a hell about Florida. Some people care about North Carolina. Let's hear about Kentucky. Come on.
Stand up. Stand up. No.
Sit up a little bit for this one. Could probably take up the rest. Take a deep breath. Probably could take up the rest of our video talking about this disaster right now. Yeah, so you got a beer for me? I may need one. So since our first video, Kentucky has played 2 games since then. They played up in Indianapolis in the Champions Classic to Kansas.
Can I interject real quick? That was the worst college basketball game I have ever seen in my freaking life.
Yeah, that was bad.
Both teams deserved 3 losses for that game, bro.
Yeah, they did. I agree with you on that. Yeah, it was just like Casey said. It was a horrible game to watch. Kentucky was dominating there at the beginning. I think their biggest lead ended up being 12, 13 points in that game. But then again, what happened the Sunday before that against Richmond. Kentucky just came back out and was flat. And the few shots Kansas made ended up being, pivotal for them, and they ended up beating us by 3. So, and then this past Sunday, we went down to Atlanta in this Hoopsgiving little contest or whatever the hell it was, and played a winless 0-2 Georgia Tech team. And that just, again, it was nothing but street ball is basically what it is, and that's what these high school kids play. Just play. They're the best player on the team, and they don't have to pass anybody. And Kentucky, and from if you watch the game, the last 8-9 minutes of this ball game, it was literally after Georgia Tech had made it a 15-point lead. It was literally Kentucky was just throwing the ball up, praying to God it went in. That's literally all they did. And Moses Wright, their center, power forward, whatever he was, he absolutely destroyed our big men inside. He killed Olivier Sarr. He beat Isaiah Jackson. He beat Jacob Toppin. He beat Lance Ware. Whoever Calipari threw in the paint, Moses Wright was Moses from up above and just destroyed us down low. And their guards aren't too shabby either. I mean, BJ Boston has been getting absolutely destroyed. Devin Mintz, the kid we got from Creighton, he's not done shit for us, and it just I don't know what's going on, guys. It's just.
But he's from Creighton.
He's from Creighton. That could be one problem.
All you can say about him.
Yeah, the only bright spot from Sunday was Terrence Clark. He had 23 or 24 points for us. Other than that, it's just Kentucky's just been a pain to watch. I mean, we've got all the makings right now of the NIT year, the year after we won the championship.
Yeah.
It's just looking that way. But Cal reverted back to Camp Cal, as it's called around here, where they go 2-3 days every single day, and he's working on the 2 T's, as he calls them: the turnovers and toughness. So we'll see if a week of that can get him going. We play Saturday at home versus Notre Dame, and then we play the following Saturday in the CBS Sports Classic. The same thing. North Casey's Tar Heels are playing Ohio State, and we're playing UCLA. So
Yeah. So Casey, yeah, me and you are close enough to Kentucky's program. Growing up in Lexington, we have a good pulse on what's going on in Kentucky's program. Stuff that's not going to make it on the national scene. And but of course, we're both rivals. Both of our teams are rivals of Kentucky's. Is there another person that just feeds bullshit out to their fan base? And their fan base just eats it up and just turns it into this hashtag type shit. I mean, what the fuck was it called? The 2 T's?
I think that a lot of Kentucky fans are catching on, or they've started to catch on. They with Cal, because I was listening to Kentucky sports radio the other day, and they were basically saying about how do they ever believe a word that Cal says?
No.
That's the funny thing for the sports radio station to say about the head coach.
Yeah.
Kentucky.
And the thing is that we knew this from the day one from Calipari. I mean, people would sit in the stands after a game for over an hour just to sit there and listen to Calipari talk, right? Calipari is a fucking used car salesman, and a brilliant one at that.
He's a snake oil salesman.
Yeah, snake oil salesman. Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
But here's the thing: is that college basketball is super cool, right? You can look over the years, and Florida really never got going. I know we won 2 national championships. We were in the Elite Eight over and over and over again, but it never brought in major recruits. But for other programs, most of the blue bloods, you see cycles, right? People go to, recently, people go to Duke because fuck Kentucky. People went to Kentucky because fuck North Carolina. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. And people, there for a while, Kansas was getting a shit ton of recruits. You know what I mean? And that's how college basketball is. So to hang your hat on just recruiting, which Calipari has been able to do for a number of years, that's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough because you're not going to keep getting those ridiculous recruits, no matter who you are. People are going to go, and particularly now when you get these examples of people like Ben Simmons, the kid from Georgia, people going to these random schools and still getting ridiculous draft picks. Who cares? You can go anywhere. You don't need to go to these blue bloods. Now it's nice to have a built-in, brand. That's why people go to Duke. That's why people go to Kansas. That's why people go to North Carolina, Kentucky. They go to those universities because once they get to the NBA, they already have an established fan base. So, but Cal's just not getting those top recruits. He's not getting elite level talent. I don't think overall the talent of basketball is starting to slip. I'm not saying that because I'm a Florida fan, which sucked for a couple of years. Just saying that overall, because the NBA is going to draft you, no matter what you do in college basketball, you're not seeing buy-ins. You're not seeing people go out there for really high caliber basketball unless they know they're a little bit stepped down, maybe a second round, maybe not drafted. Those teams develop, and they build really good basketball teams, motivated players, people that really want. But if you're already a lottery pick in high school, you're not going to come into a program in Kentucky and listen to Calipari. Just not.
Right.
What is Calipari going to do to develop your game? Nothing. What is, honestly, what's Roy Williams going to do to develop your game? Nothing. I mean, it's the fact of the matter of college basketball right now. You're getting you have to be the sexiest thing on the street to really get these recruits. And Kentucky is starting to fall back. It's starting. People aren't buying into it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what LaMelo Ball did. I mean, he went overseas and played in like a professional league for a year, and then I mean, that might turn out good for him. You know, that's what what's his name, Luka Doncic did for the Mavericks, and a lot of good foreign players that it seems to be working better for them than some of these other college kids. You know?
Yeah.
I think if you had a big movement, remember one of the first players that did it was that Brandon Jennings. You know, he made a huge deal about that he decided not to go to college and he just went overseas because of the rule. Because the rule was, I mean, the rule's only been around for what, 17, 15 years now.
Yeah.
That you have to go play at least 1 year. It's not even that. You just have to be 19. So if you're over 19, you can just go to the NBA anyway.
Yeah.
But you get in this situation, it will be great for the college basketball if that becomes a trend. If you see these top talented players. Yeah. But again, it goes back to building your brand. Why would you go overseas and develop your game if you could just go to Duke, win a championship, but tons of fans know who you are, like Zion. Like if Zion went over to Europe, do you think he would have been on ESPN every fucking night with his highlights? Like even nights Duke's not even playing. Like Zion was on TV.
Yeah.
Partly because of Zion, but it's also partly because Coach K and Duke. That's why it gets them on TV. And until you can sell that to your players and really become a sexy thing, like what Calipari was able to do with John Wall, Bledsoe, Cousins, Patterson, Darius Miller. Yeah. He landed those players that, obviously Anthony Davis was a freak of mine. Anybody else, but he was able to establish this real pedigree. We are creating excitement and we are creating a buzz in college basketball. And once that buzz fizzles away, they're going to go on to the next program.
Don't you all miss where college basketball was like in like mid 2000s? It just felt like totally different, you know?
Yeah.
The teams were so good. With like you had the Florida teams and like when like JJ Redick was on Duke, like I don't know, like the product just felt more like hype and just better and just more interesting.
Yeah.
Well, they were established.
Yeah.
Because now.
Yeah.
Because even with your top talented players, they're going on to the NBA because they're going to get a first-round pick regardless of how they play college basketball. But in your lower-level teams, your Arkansas, your Floridas, your, kind of there but not really, Virginia Tech, you're going to transfer.
Yeah.
And that's the ludicrous thing. We've created this a culture in college basketball where we're fueling this nonsense of everybody feels like they are the greatest basketball player on earth. And it's partly because of the NBA. The NBA hypes up these players that never were. Blake Griffin should have disappeared a long time ago. Like, we shouldn't even talk about Blake Griffin once he got to the league. I mean, he was not a great player. He was a highlight reel. But more people knew who Blake Griffin was as opposed to, I bet if you went back in 2011, I bet more people knew who Blake Griffin was than they knew who Kawhi Leonard was. I don't know if that year is perfectly accurate, but when Kawhi first came to the Spurs, he was extremely good, and he was the perfect fit for the Spurs. And everybody knew he was going to be an elite level talent once he developed. But all we could talk about was Blake Griffin ducking over some random Joe Schmo from Europe. You know what I mean? It's like it became about not what you can do on a basketball court, but what you can do and get on, Sports Center top 10. What people can talk about? Because nobody's going to watch an NBA season of 80 games. you have to create a buzz. So the NBA players got smart, and it's created this culture in college basketball where you have to be excited, you have to do the splash, you have to be this, that, such and such. That's my rant.
Sucks, man.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible, man.
I'm seeing a lot of bad shooting in games that I'm watching, bro. Like these guys just can't make a jump shot.
Everybody's the Splash Brothers
Yeah.
now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They all can shoot at will, Double team
Yeah.
doesn't matter. I'm just gonna pull up right here, shoot.
Yeah.
Rick.
I'm not gonna work on it. No.
No.
Don't need that. I don't need practice. Fucking. We talking about practice here, man.
Practice.
We don't need it. We don't need to actually grind our face into the wall and do things the right way and actually become a superstar. Like we just want to be a superstar right now. And if I hit this 3-pointer, then people are gonna be like, "This kid can shoot."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Matt, you think Cal can get the Cats out of this? You think they can turn this around, or you think the Cats are in trouble in the long run this season?
I just, again, I mean, it kind of take of what I'm saying with a grain of salt for whoever watched him, but be honest with you guys, straight up, I don't know if he can get this team turned around. I really don't, because I mean, you got to think our next 3 games are Notre Dame, UCLA, and Louisville. Those are our next 3 games. And then we jump into conference play, and we got to play South Carolina, which I don't know how good they are this year. And then after that, I think we got to play Tennessee, who looks really good this year. So, I mean, it's not going to get any easier because the SEC, who's everyone's Super Bowl? Kentucky. So
I'm hearing,
even the teams
I'm hearing
that are up
the
and coming.
I'm hearing the SEC is going to be pretty tough.
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee's supposed to be good. Like Justin said, Florida's off to a 3-0 record. They're always a problem for
I
Kentucky.
didn't say we're gonna be good.
I said you're off to a 3-0 record.
Yes.
But, I mean, that can always the one team you never know with Auburn and Bruce Pearl. Bruce Pearl always seems to have good luck against Kentucky. So, it's not going to get any easier for him.
Virginia.
I know they got a guy. They got a big recruit that they're not allowing him to play yet. They're trying to get him eligible to play.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, dude. If we don't talk about Arkansas, I don't know what the fuck we've done. You know who they have, right? They have
Who?
Nevada's head coach. He's out there in Arkansas now. This is his 2nd season.
Oh.
Like maybe this year, maybe next year. I mean, week 1 scoring 146 on. I don't give a fuck who it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Arkansas is actually
Yeah.
Arkansas. Like everybody was excited about Mike Anderson coming back to Arkansas's program. We all know about the 40 minutes of hell, but Mike Anderson, was supposed to bring that back, but he brought back fast-paced basketball. But it was terrible basketball. I mean, I remember a game where Florida and Arkansas. God, how many shots was it? I looked it up. It was awful. It was 2015, and Arkansas and Florida. Of course, the 2 press teams and the 2 teams that like to get up and down the court the most. They had 115 shots combined, and they had a shooting percentage of 20. The game was like a fucking tennis match, man. It was literally like down the court, shoot a 3, down the court, shoot a 3, down the court, shoot a 3. I mean, you saw like 20 shots in a matter of 3 minutes before another commercial break. It was 20 shots. It was insane. But yeah.
Oh, I know. We got another
coach that can coach the fast-paced basketball. Muscle or something like that. Musselman. Something. I can't remember his name, but I know his track record. He's a fucking hell of a coach.
Missouri looked good. I saw them play. I saw them beat Oregon like
that one.
about a week ago.
Lonzo Martin at Missouri.
Missouri can play.
They've got Conzo Martin. Yeah.
Yep. Who you got out there in the ACC, Casey? Let's talk about them a little bit.
Duke does not look good to me from what I've seen. They lost to Michigan State in a game where they were losing by quite a bit the whole game, and then apparently they're getting their ass kicked by Illinois now, which those are both good teams. But Virginia will be there. Who else we got? Louisville's supposed to be pretty good. Matt could probably knows more about Louisville than me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
who else?
Louisville's going to be pretty good.
They lost their first game. I saw that.
Louisville did.
Yeah. Yeah, because that guy was Xavier's coach. Everybody around here still loves him. They talk.
Yeah,
about
I don't think the ACC will be as good as it's been the past few years. But I mean, there's still some good teams, obviously. But
Christ, did Louisville cancel the season? Like, I'm literally going a week out right now, and I don't see a single Louisville game. 4-0. Sorry, they were losing to Seton Hall, but they came back and won that game.
okay.
Sorry, I spoke too soon. Yeah, they beat the dog shit out of Evansville, which is a small school. And then Seton Hall.
Didn't always mean anything.
Huh?
Didn't always mean anything. They came to Rupp and beat the dog shit out of Kentucky last year. Oh, Evansville did.
I bet that's why they scheduled
God, what a disaster.
like,
Yeah, it's probably why.
slide in Kentucky there. Are you guys still playing over at where the fuck are you playing the Notre Dame game?
Rupp.
Really? You guys were supposed
Yeah,
to play in Great Britain, weren't you?
Yeah, no, that was supposed to be. We were supposed to play London. We were supposed to play Michigan over there.
In London?
That got in London. It was part of like a 3-game
London, Kentucky.
series we signed with them. Yeah, not obviously. Yeah, but yeah, we were supposed to play them once in Michigan, once in London, once in Ann Arbor, and once in Lexington. But that got pushed back because of the pandemic.
Oh yeah, Baylor is nasty.
Yeah.
They were supposed to play Gonzaga on Saturday, but that game got canceled. That would have been number 1 versus number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw them beat Illinois, and Illinois looks good.
Yeah,
Can I say one last thing about Kentucky?
sure.
Why does Calipari bust so much on transfers?
Because he hates them. He never wanted them, but yet they still come.
Is there any good transfers Kentucky's had? Any?
Nope.
Like, our entire roster is built off of transfers. Like, nobody wants to go. Like, people realize Mike White sucks. They leave, and then we get a new batch of players to transfer in. And for Calipari, it's like he just can't get any talent at all. Zero. Like, Kerry fucking Blackshear, like the ACC Player of the Year, like behind Zion Williams, National Player of the Year behind Zion Williams, transfers to fucking Florida. And it absolutely blows his entire NBA career just off that one decision.
Well, probably Kentucky's best player right now probably is a transfer from Wake, Olivier Sarr. But I mean, that tells you how bad they are right now.
Yeah, but I mean, like Harrell from NC State.
Harrell was a disaster.
The guy that you had last year was a terrible player. Terrible.
Yeah. And then the year we went to the NIT, we had Julius Mays. He was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Who's
Who's worse, Askew or Ryan Harrow, Matt?
Damn, you're pulling my hand on that, buddy. I would have to say Askew, mainly because, and believe me, it's really close, mainly because of Askew's age and just he's not adjusting at all. Harrow eventually ended up adjusting to the game, the college game, but he just neither one of them could handle the Kentucky spotlight.
All right, guys, that's gonna do it for our video. Again, we'll probably have another video out sometime next week. No guarantee.